Hi, my name's Alison Blayney. I'm the Global HR Business Partner for TG. So like many organisations, one of the biggest challenges we face is waking up the passive candidates. What I mean by that is people that are not actively looking for jobs, but they could be the most talented people in the industry. Finding great people is a challenge because we can no longer rely on the traditional sourcing channels of posting a job and praying somebody turns up. What we need to do is be much more proactive in finding that key talent in the marketplace. So that means sourcing, talking to people, understanding who are the key players in the industry and building a relationship with them to either talk about a specific job or having them in our talent pool for jobs that will arise in the future. So in order to ensure business continuity, we don't want to have vacancies for too long. What we want to have is a ready-made pool of talented candidates so we can interview straight away. So that's all about being proactive, building these relationships early on with candidates in other companies so they can come and join us as soon as we have a job. So to build our talent pools, we need to go beyond the normal sourcing strategies. So everyone today is on LinkedIn. Everyone's getting hounded by recruiters on LinkedIn. It's no longer effective. What we want to do is think differently, and that's what we try to do through a number of different routes. For example, one of the mottos that I try to live by is good people know good people. We try to speak to our current employees to find out who is the best talent in the industry and actually find out people that they might know that could come and work for us in the future. So this could be a university colleague, it could be someone from your previous company, it could be your boyfriend's sister's best friend. We want to make sure we find the best people to come and work for our company in the future. So in the UK, how Unilever makes this happen is through the employer referral scheme. This is the opportunity for employees to formally refer one of their friends to this organisation, whether for a specific vacancy or for our talent pools more generally. If that individual is then successfully placed in the organisation and they have stayed in the role for a certain amount of time, that person is then eligible for a referral fee. This is really good for the organisation because we are finding great people in a very cost-effective way, but it's also proven to be much more beneficial to the organisation when it comes to that person's performance and also their retention in our business. So during my first rotation on the UFLP, I worked in Port Sunlight on the Project Phoenix. This project was about building our personal care factory. This is the factory that makes BO5, Alberta Balsam and Tresemme. During this project, what I had to do was recruit a whole factory organisation, from engineers to factory operators, for example. And what I tried to do was really leverage our employer referral scheme, so ensuring that all of our current employees knew about this and actually would refer a family member or friend to the organisation. This was really successful for us because we found a lot of great people and successfully placed them in our organisation. So a company's brand is a huge factor that affects recruitment because it's often the reason why an employee or a future employee will choose to apply or not to apply to your organisation. Today, candidates have so many opportunities to apply for. They have a range of companies, a range of roles in which they are interested in. We are in Generation Y. You and I are part of this organisation that no longer has a real loyalty to an organisation like we used to. If we compare ourselves to our parents, Generation X, it's most likely they worked for their organisations for 20, 30 years, their entire working career. That no longer happens today. An individual will only stay with the organisation if they're getting something in return. So am I being fulfilled by the job that I'm doing? Am I getting the reward and benefits that I expect? Am I getting career and development opportunities? Are you giving me the training and skills that I need? Unless the answer to those questions is yes, then candidates and employees will start to look elsewhere. So leveraging a company's brand or image is all about opening up the eyes of potential candidates to our organisation and showing them what it's really like to work for Unilever. For example, in my current role in TG, we've spent a lot of time and work investing in our employer brand. And the reason for this is to ensure we're attracting the best candidates to our organisation. The way that we've done this more recently is we've created the TG People video. This is a video that gives future candidates that insight into what TG is all about. We introduce our president, we introduce key leaders in the organisation, as well as some of our employees to really let them see who they could be working for in the future. When I think about my own personal perspective, Why did I decide to work for Unilever? One of the biggest reasons was their employer brand. Unilever is a fantastic organisation. It has some of the world's most renowned brands, from Dove to Ben & Jerry's to Lynx, for example. I wanted to work for a company that was successful and had that real pride and passion for what they do. One of the other biggest attractions for Unilever is the USLP. This is the Unilever Sustainable Living Plan. And this is all about how we do business in the right way. We're not just a big organisation trying to make big money, but also make a difference to the world. And that sustainability impact has had a real positive influence on our current employees, but also people that want to apply to us in the future. The USLP is all about pioneering new ways to make products and innovate, but also to ensure people are living well and within the natural limits of our planet. So the USLP is a key differentiator for our organisation. It lets us stand out amongst our competitors and one of the key reasons why people want to come and work for us. Like I said, it's not just a big company trying to make money, but also make a real difference in this world. So one of the other areas that I love about working in the HR function is the fact that we are champions of well-being. Well-being is a key thing on Unilever's agenda at the moment, and this is all about ensuring our employees are focusing on themselves in a number of different areas, such as their physical well-being, their mental well-being, their purposeful well-being, and their emotional well-being. And this helps them bring them full selves to work, to really be present and focused on what they're doing, but then also to leave work at the end of the day and to focus on their own personal lives. This means that people are more engaged, they're happier at what they do, and ultimately more productive. So, in order to improve predictive validity, the first thing that you need to know is, what are you trying to find? So this is about really clearly articulating the job experiences, the skills, the competencies that you need in a person to fulfill your job. So in order to support hiring managers whenever they are recruiting for vacant positions, is first of all really helping them to articulate what they are trying to find. To do this, they should have a really robust job description, really articulating what are the key roles and responsibilities of that job, what are the competencies and skills a person needs to hold to do that job, and what previous experience should they have had. We also try and support our line managers whenever they're hiring new people into the business to think about that balance between attitude and aptitude. So what can be trained, and what are the non-negotiable skills and experience someone has to have before we can even consider offering them the role. So once you know what you're looking for, and the hiring manager has clearly articulated this through a job description, this also helps future candidates decide whether they're going to be able to do that job or not. It's a way for them to self-select. They will look at that role description and think, can I do that job? Do I have the right experiences and skills to be successful? Or actually, am I not quite there yet? It's not what I'm looking for, and therefore they choose not to apply. So once you have your pool of applicants, the next thing is to ensure you have a really robust selection process. What I mean by this is ensuring that you have a number of different methods in which to assess a candidate. For example, a telephone interview to ask the basic questions, a competency-based interview to really probe somebody's skills, a presentation, a technical assessment, and a role play. This allows you to explore a number of different areas within that candidate's profile to see whether they are the right person for the job. So by introducing more than one method of selection, but also more than one assessor, you are really testing that individual's potential to succeed in the organisation today and in the future, and that also enhances predictive validity. It's really important to have selection methods that show you the real life environment as closely as possible. One way of achieving this is to conduct role plays. For example, this is something we're exploring when recruiting our TG account managers as part of our sales function in this business. We are introducing role plays to ensure that we can see how that individual will operate in the real environment. So how do they react and perform when they walk into TG's top salons? What do they say? How do they influence and negotiate? So we created a robust selection process when recruiting for our field education team in the UK and Ireland. What this involved was a 4-stage process, starting with a telephone interview. They then came into the office to do a competency-based interview with HR and the hiring manager. They then did a technical assessment for us to be able to see what would they be like in that real life environment. So working in a salon, seeing their technical and creative skills in the real life environment. The fourth stage was the presentation. This was for us to see that candidate bring everything together and actually see what it would be like to hear from them as a customer when presenting their work. So the final thing to look at when considering predictive validity is ensuring that you have the right assessors making the right decisions. For example, the hiring manager is that person that will be line managing the individual on a day-to-day basis. Can they work with that person? Are they showing the right signs of being able to do the job successfully? The line manager will know that best. The HR business partner will really be probing for their skills and their competencies. Are they giving strong examples that will link to future success? And then finally, the technical expert. They are the ones with the expertise knowledge on what is the right answer and what is the wrong answer. So it's really important to have a range of different assessors to probe in the right areas and to make the right decisions on the hire of that person.